But it's important that you always stay in tune with God. No matter what you are going through, don't let it take away prayer from you. If you've ever felt that you are stagnant, or you feel like you are underperforming, that if you feel like you have more and greater potentials, but you are not living out your potentials fully, I might have a word of encouragement for you, because this was me, or this is me. I don't know which one to say. So, first thing I would want you to do, straight to the point, is to trust God first. Jesus told his disciple that blessed are those that do not see me but believe in me. It is easy when you are in your waiting season, when you are in your season of dryness. It is easy to think that God is not with you, or God is not in that season with you. Why? Because we've always associated God with bliss. Like, we've always associated God with bliss, and we've forgotten that even in the wilderness, God is with you. Okay, let's take the person of Jesus, for example. Now, he fasted 40 days and 40 nights and was tempted thereafter. That was not beans, that was not cake. We are to pattern our lives after Jesus. So what am I trying to say? There's going to be that season. There's always going to be that season. So do not think that just because you are going through a dip doesn't mean that God is not there with you, because he in fact did not promise bliss. You get, there will be sufferings, there will be trials, there will be tribulation. I mean, we are in the world, we are not of the world. So the first thing I want to do is to trust God. I know that God might have been silent, or maybe you're not hearing God and you're feeling, oh, God has left me. First, I'll remind you that He said He will never leave you nor forsake you. God is with you, and you need to just believe the things that He has spoken in His scriptures. He said He will never leave you nor forsake you. He said the path of the righteous is like a shining light that shines brighter and brighter. So if He says it, I believe it. It might be hard, but faith, right? Faith is holding on to what is not visible. So those that's the first thing that I'd advise you to do. The second thing I'd advise you to do is to make use of your season wisely. So we tend to often look at a season as, oh, I'm suffering, I'm this and that. But have we looked at the things that God wants us to actually pick from this season? I want you to read the story of David as a good example. David was a shepherd for the longest before he became a king. And you've, of course, if you place being a shepherd and being a king side by side, they are similar traits. Imagine if David did not pick up the necessary values, the necessary skills, the necessary things that he needed to become a king. It would have been that he wasted his years being a shepherd, because there was no point of him being king when he has not in fact like picked what God has intended for him to pick to be able to function as a king. Right? So ask God, how can I maximize this season? Okay, this season is hard for me, I don't want to waste it. Like, it is hard enough that you are going through this, but imagine going through it for longer just because you are not learning what's needed to be learned, or what you need to learn during that season. And the third thing I'll advise you to do is don't stop communicating to and with God. It is easy to major so much on our problems. I will leave at the place of intimacy because we think that God is intentionally punishing us, or we think that if you are God and you see me going through all of these things. But it's important that you always stay in tune with God. When Jesus was to be crucified, remember the prayer they prayed in the garden. Even in the midst of the he was about to face the biggest trial of his life, and then he still prayed. He said, God, if let this cup pass over me, but your will, not my will. So no matter what you are going through, don't let it take away prayer from you. And I hope that after everything is over, after all your problems are over, you have focus to glorify God. See you in my next video. Bye.